What if the change in your pocket was worth more than diamonds and gold? Hidden among ordinary dimes are a few ultra-rare treasures that have shocked collectors and sold for life-changing amounts. From classic silver designs to modern minting miracles, these are the dimes that turn pocket change into pure fortune. Number 1. Have you ever looked closely at a simple silver dime and wondered if it could be worth a fortune? The 1942 Mercury dime with no mint mark may look like any other 10-cent coin, but behind its delicate shine hides a story that has shocked collectors for decades. Some of these tiny pieces of silver have sold for nearly $100,000, and most people have no idea they might already have one resting in a jar of old change right now. The Mercury dime is one of America's most iconic and artistic coins, representing freedom, creativity, and national pride during one of the most challenging times in world history. The year was 1942, and while the world was deep in the turmoil of World War II, the United States Mint continued producing silver coins that today hold both historical and monetary value beyond imagination. Designed by Adolph A. Weinman, the Mercury dime features Lady Liberty wearing a winged cap, symbolizing freedom of thought and the soaring spirit of America. Collectors often mistake her for the Roman god Mercury, giving the coin its famous nickname. The reverse design carries a bundle of rods tied around an axe, known as the fasces, representing unity and strength, with an olive branch of peace wrapping around it, a powerful message of hope in a time of war. The 1942 Mercury dime was struck at 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, but the Philadelphia coins carry no mint mark. More than 315 million were made, yet only a few have survived in pristine condition. Those untouched, perfectly preserved examples can sell for prices that seem almost unbelievable today. One such coin, a 1942 no-mint mark Mercury dime in an extraordinary proof-like condition, sold for an incredible $98,437.50 at a great collections auction. Imagine holding something once worth 10 cents that now commands nearly $100,000 because it was carefully preserved for over 80 years. That is the kind of discovery every coin hunter dreams of finding. What makes this coin even more fascinating is its attention to detail. Collectors search for examples that show full split bands on the reverse, the small horizontal lines on the fasces that are often worn away in circulation. If all the bands are fully separated and sharp, it is called a full bands dime, and that one feature alone can multiply its value many times over. But the 1942 dime also carries a secret that makes it legendary among era collectors: the famous 1942/41 variety. This occurred when the mint accidentally used the 1941 die to strike some of the 1942 dimes, creating a double date where the number 1 appears under the 2. These coins are extremely rare and have sold for tens of thousands of dollars, making them one of the most desirable minting errors in American coinage. If you happen to find a 1942 dime, look carefully on the reverse side to check for a mint mark. If there is no letter near the word 1, you are holding a Philadelphia issue, exactly the version that could be hiding real value. Examine its condition under good lighting, look for sharp details, and check for those famous full bands. You never know when a simple dime might turn out to be a treasure. Even circulated Mercury dimes are valuable because they are made of 90% silver. Their metal content alone gives them worth far beyond their face value, but collectors pay the highest premiums for originality, rarity, and grade. Silver coins like these continue to rise in demand every single year, proving that beauty and history never lose value. The 1942 Mercury dime is more than a coin. It is a symbol of America's resilience and creativity during a difficult time. It has survived wars, recessions, and decades of change, yet still shines with the same brilliance that inspired its creation. Every mark tells a story, every detail connects us to the people who once used it, and every preserved piece is a small window into history. So the next time you come across an old silver dime, do not rush to spend it. Look closely at the date, the shine, and the tiny details that could turn it into something extraordinary. Because one of these little treasures could still be hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone like you to uncover its true worth. If you enjoy learning the real auction prices of America's rare coins, remember to subscribe to HD Coins World, like this video for more incredible stories, and comment below if you have a Mercury dime in your collection. You might be holding one of the most valuable silver dimes ever struck in the United States. Number 2. Imagine holding a coin so rare that only a handful exist in the entire world. The 1894 S. Barber dime is one of the most mysterious and valuable coins in American history, and it has stunned collectors with auction prices reaching more than $2 million. This small silver dime has become a legend, a dream find for every coin hunter, and one of the greatest treasures ever produced by the United States Mint. The story of the 1894 S. Barber dime begins in San Francisco, in the summer of 1894. That year, the Mint struck millions of coins of various denominations, but for reasons that still puzzle historians today, only 24 Barber dimes were made with the S Mint mark. Just 24 coins, and no official record explains why such a tiny number was produced. Some believe it was a test strike, others say it was a special issue for bankers or friends of the Mint superintendent, but whatever the reason, that decision created one of the rarest dimes in the world, designed by Charles E. Barber. The dime carries his elegant portrait of liberty on the obverse, wearing a Phrygian cap and a laurel wreath of victory. The word liberty crowns her head, surrounded by 13 stars representing the original colonies. On the reverse, the words "one dime" sit inside a wreath made of corn, wheat, maple, and oak, symbols of American strength and prosperity. And just below the wreath lies the tiny letter S, marking it as a product of the San Francisco Mint. Out of the 24 coins struck, only 9 are confirmed to still exist today. The rest are lost to time, possibly melted down, spent, or hidden away forever. That extreme rarity is what drives collectors wild with excitement, because owning one means possessing a piece of American numismatic legend. Each surviving coin tells a slightly different story. Some were carefully preserved by early collectors, while others were circulated and show honest wear from use more than a century ago. One of the most famous tales connected to this coin involves the San Francisco Mint superintendent himself, John Daggett. According to historical accounts, he gave 3 of the freshly struck 1894 S dimes to his young daughter Hallie, telling her to keep them for the future because they might be valuable someday. But Hallie, being a child, reportedly spent one of the dimes on ice cream. That single act of innocence became part of coin collecting folklore, and to this day, collectors still refer to it as the ice cream dime. Over the decades, the surviving 1894 S. Barber dimes have appeared only occasionally at major auctions, and each time they break new records. In 2016, one specimen graded proof 66 by PCGS sold for $1,997,500. And in 2025, another example crossed the auction block for an astounding $2,160,000. Confirming its place as one of the most valuable American coins ever sold. What makes this coin even more fascinating is how its value continues to grow over time. While other collectibles rise and fall in popularity, the 1894 S dime remains a timeless symbol of rarity, history, and mystery. With so few known to exist, every time one reappears, the entire numismatic world stops to watch. Collectors, investors, and historians all recognize it as a true masterpiece of American coinage. Even replicas and educational models of the 1894 S. Barber dime are popular among collectors who wish to own a reminder of this incredible story. The design, the history, and the mystery behind it have turned this small piece of silver into a legend that represents the golden age of U.S. coin minting. It is not just a coin, it is a work of art, a time capsule, and a dream for anyone passionate about numismatics. Imagine discovering one of these coins in an old coin album, a family safe, or a forgotten box of silver. The odds are almost impossible, but stories like this remind us that treasures can still be hiding in plain sight. Even the faint hope of finding an 1894 S. Barber dime keeps collectors searching every day, and that passion fuels the heart of the entire coin collecting community. The 1894 S. Barber dime proves that true value is not measured by size or weight, but by rarity, history, and mystery. A 10-cent coin that has crossed the $2 million mark continues to inspire generations of collectors to keep looking, keep learning, and never underestimate the hidden treasures that might be waiting in their own homes. So if you love stories of real auction prices and legendary coins that changed history, make sure to subscribe to HD Coins World, like this video, and comment below if you have ever seen or owned a barber dime. Because one of the rarest coins in the world might just be closer than you think. Number 3. This story begins with a small coin that most people overlook, the 1977 Roosevelt dime with no mint mark. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary 10-cent piece, but this little coin has made headlines among collectors for its shocking rarity. In 1977, the United States Mint in Philadelphia produced millions of dimes, all supposed to carry a small P mint mark for the first time since 1946. However, a few rare specimens left the mint without that tiny letter, and those few became legends in American numismatic history. What makes this dime so fascinating is how such an error even happened. The theory says that one or more minting dies meant for test strikes were accidentally used for regular production, causing the coins to be struck without the P. These error coins slipped into circulation before anyone at the mint even noticed. Collectors have been hunting for these missing mint mark dimes for decades. The difference is tiny, no mint mark above the date, yet it means a fortune for those lucky enough to find one. Most people will never notice it, but to a trained eye, this small detail can change everything. This coin's value skyrocketed at auction because of its extreme rarity. In pristine condition, with a perfect strike and untouched surfaces, one of these 1977 no mint mark dimes was sold for an astonishing over $400,000 at auction. Imagine, a 10-cent coin worth more than a luxury car, all because of a missing letter. The lesson is clear: check your change carefully. Even modern coins can hide incredible secrets, and mistakes that turn them into treasures worth a lifetime of collecting. If you ever come across a 1977 dime without a mint mark, do not spend it. You might be holding one of the rarest modern dimes ever produced. Stay tuned, because our next coin is another unexpected discovery that could be sitting right in your pocket change right now. Number 4. There are coins that surprise collectors, and then there are coins that completely shock the coin world. The 1980 Roosevelt dime with the D mint mark is one of those fascinating treasures that reminds us how small details can make a big difference in value. The 1980 dime might look like an ordinary piece of change, shiny, lightweight, and only 10 cents in value. But when it carries the small D mint mark beneath the date, it tells a story from the Denver Mint that still intrigues collectors to this day. In 1980, the United States Mint continued producing Roosevelt dimes in massive numbers, over 750 million from the Denver Mint alone. Yet among all those coins, a few unique examples have shown extraordinary quality and perfection that make them incredibly valuable to collectors today. Every line of President Franklin D. Roosevelt's portrait, every curve of the lettering, and every sparkle of the torch on the reverse side matter when it comes to grading these coins. A flawless surface without scratches or wear can push a 10-cent coin into the world of thousands of dollars at auction. Collectors also look for striking errors, off-center strikes, double dies, or coins struck on the wrong metal planchets. These rare mistakes from the mint can turn an everyday dime into a dream find. One perfect 1980 Roosevelt dime with the D mint mark graded by PCGS as MS68 full bands achieved an unbelievable price at auction, selling for $1,520. Yes, a simple dime sold for over $1,000 because of its flawless condition and rarity in that grade. Now imagine that. A dime that has traveled through decades of American history, worth thousands because of its precision and perfection. It reminds us that beauty and rarity are not always about age. Sometimes they are about quality, detail, and survival. So, if you have a 1980 D Roosevelt dime, check it carefully. Look at the condition, the strike, and that small D mint mark. Your ordinary change might hold a coin that could astonish collectors and auction houses alike. The next time you receive a dime in your hand, take a closer look. Because history, art, and hidden fortune can sometimes fit in the palm of your hand. Number 5. Sometimes, the coins that seem the most common hide the biggest surprises. The 1991 Roosevelt dime with the P Mint mark is one of those small, modern treasures that proves that even a simple 10-cent piece can carry an incredible story of value and rarity. In 1991, the United States Mint in Philadelphia struck hundreds of millions of dimes bearing the letter P beneath the date. To most people, these coins were just spare change, used, forgotten, and replaced over time. But for collectors, the search for the rarest and most flawless specimens from this year became a thrilling hunt. The Roosevelt dime design has been a classic since 1946, honoring President Franklin D. Roosevelt, the beloved leader who helped guide America through the Great Depression and World War II. On the front, his strong profile symbolizes courage and progress. On the reverse, the torch, olive branch, and oak branch stand for liberty, peace, and strength, three ideals engraved into every coin struck by the United States Mint. What makes the 1991 P dime so special is the condition. While billions were made, only a tiny number survive in absolutely perfect mint state with no marks, no scratches, and sharp details in the torch bands. Those few gems have become collector legends. In 2018, one perfect 1991 Roosevelt dime with the P Mint mark, graded MS69 by PCGS, shocked the auction world when it sold for an incredible $1,520. Imagine that, a small coin worth over $1,000, simply because of its perfect preservation and flawless detail. This coin teaches us something powerful, that modern coins are not always worthless or common. With the right eye and the right condition, even a 10-cent coin from your change can become a rare collectible worth thousands. So the next time you see a shiny dime with the letter P under the date, hold it up to the light. Look at the torch lines, the surfaces, and the edges. Because one small discovery can turn into a huge surprise for any collector or lucky finder. Keep searching, keep learning, and never underestimate the beauty hidden in America's smallest coins. Number 6. At first glance, the 2001 Roosevelt dime with the P Mint mark looks like just another piece of modern pocket change. But look closer, because behind that tiny coin hides a story that still amazes collectors and treasure hunters across America. The year 2001 was a time when billions of dimes were struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Most of them went into circulation, tossed into jars, cash registers, and vending machines, never to be noticed again. But a few of them were struck so sharply, so perfectly, that they stand out as true masterpieces of modern minting. The design still carries the proud legacy of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, the leader whose courage and compassion led America through some of its hardest times. His portrait reminds us of strength and hope, and the small P Mint mark under the date shows its origin from the Philadelphia Mint, the oldest in the nation. Collectors today search for the 2001 P dimes that remain in pristine mint condition. These coins show full torch bands, mirror-like surfaces, and absolutely no marks or scratches. Finding one like that is incredibly rare, especially more than 2 decades later. The rarest and finest examples have sold for surprising prices. One of the highest auction results recorded for a 2001 Roosevelt dime with P Mint mark, graded MS69 by PCGS, reached $1,025 at auction. That is over $1,000 for a coin that most people would never look twice at. Think about that. A 10-cent coin from 2001, worth more than $1,000 because of its perfect preservation and stunning strike. It shows that the thrill of coin collecting is not just about age, but about detail, condition, and the story behind every coin. So before you spend that shiny dime, take one more look. You could be holding a hidden treasure, one that connects modern minting with American history, and turns ordinary change into an extraordinary discovery. If you enjoy learning about rare and valuable coins like this one, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below if you have any questions about your rare coins. Tell us in the comments what treasures you have found. Maybe your coin could be the next amazing story we feature here.